What's up? Welcome to the Salisha Show! I'm your host, Salisha Thomas, and I'm so excited to be recording at the beautiful Gotham Production Studios here in Midtown Manhattan and to be officially a part of the Gotham Network. It's a privilege and an honor. It really is. This has been a dream to have a place to record and call home. And so, thank you, Gotham. Thank you, Gotham, for having me. On this episode, first, I'd like to start off with what we're grateful for today. If you're watching this on YouTube, please subscribe. Hello. But I am still very much pregnant. I'm over 8 months pregnant. And so today I'm grateful for, honestly, I'm grateful for Andrew, my husband, who just called me. And you know what, y'all? This is an episode for another day. But I was literally the 30-year-old virgin. And I just did not like anybody enough that I wanted to do that with them. And meeting my husband, it was like the stars had aligned. And I just felt like I was at home. And I am grateful for that today. I loved the single life. Oh, I loved the single life. And I love my alone time to this day. But I'm so grateful for Andrew Weiss, my baby daddy. Okay, so today, let's see here. Let's talk a little bit about what are Broadway auditions really like. I guess that there's a lot of factors that can change what your Broadway audition experience is like. Are you a member of Actors Equity Association? Are you repped by an agency? Do you have an agency appointment, or are you at an open call? Did you sign up yourself for an appointment? So there's very different experiences to be had in a Broadway audition. My first audition in the city was not normal. So I'm going to start with what I think of as a normal audition first, which is like a cattle call, an open call in New York City for a Broadway show. There was a time, I don't even know, what was it for? I think it was an open call for Mrs. Doubtfire on Broadway. And I don't think I asked my agents for an appointment. I think I was just bored that day and was like, I'm going to go to this audition. I went to this audition regardless, and there were hundreds of girls. They asked me to take a number, and we were all in this holding room, and there was no place to even sit. Everyone was doing their hair, their makeup, warming up, in the splits, singing, talking, making friends, in the zone. There was a lot of different energies around. And I just remember thinking, by this point, I'd already been on Broadway. And I remember thinking, how on earth is anyone supposed to break into this industry when there are this many people? And I don't say that to discourage you or anyone who you might know who wants to be on Broadway and is going to an open call, because I do have quite a few friends who have booked their Broadway debut from an audition just like that. So I'm like, it is possible. It actually does work. But while I was there, I remember thinking, okay, I'm waiting around. And while I was waiting around, I did have an appointment that was taking place in the same building a few floors up. And I had enough time to go to that appointment, come back down, and still wait my turn for the open call. I think I was waiting for Aida or something upstairs. I had an appointment. When I went upstairs to the appointment with my name on it, it was a very different vibe. So downstairs for the cattle call, hundreds of girls, a lot of different energies. Some people have anxiety. Some people are excited. Some people are chatty. Some people are it's just a lot of different energies. Versus upstairs, I think it was me and one other person sitting in the hallway waiting to go in. It was so relaxed. There was no one up there. That whole floor, there was maybe 10 people. And before it was time for me to go in, the director came out and was like, hi, Salisha. I'll be right back, girl. I just got to go to the restroom. Gives me a hug, goes to the restroom, comes back, and she's like, all right, I'll see you so soon. And I'm thinking, this is crazy how different these two huge auditions are. And eventually I went into that room, in the upstairs room for my appointment. And I remember thinking, Salisha, take up space. Pretend you are an old white man. Do not rush. Take up space. Take your time. And I did. I took my time. And I started when I was ready. And I took a moment and I sang that song. And I felt incredible. And the director's giving me notes and I'm taking her feedback and we're having a dialogue. We're talking. I might have even done it again or started from the middle of the song or wherever she asked. And it felt so good. And I finished that up. Long story long, I did get a call back from that audition. I think they wanted me to be the alternate for the lead. I was like, I am honored, but also no, which is ironic because I ended up swinging a show with 12 roles. I don't know why I would say no to that and yes to that. But you know what? You live and you learn. Meanwhile, I finished that audition. It felt so good. I remember just being calm, relaxed, like this is the life. But then I went back downstairs to the open call. There were still quite a few girls in front of me. And eventually it was time for me to line up in the hallway. So they lined us up. They lined us up in like groups of 10 or 12. They had our headshots. We brought our headshots and resumes. And I felt the anxiety as soon as I got off the elevator onto the floor. It was like, oh, like it wasn't my energy. It was the energy of everybody around me. What a learning experience to know, like, what is my energy and what is everyone else's energy? Coming into a room, am I soaking in what everyone else is feeling? Or am I able to flood the room with my aura? Because that's the goal. If you're in a good place, to make other people also in a good place, not to be consumed with anxiety or fear or whatever is going around you. So I'm sitting, waiting for it to be my turn, and I start getting a little anxious, and I'm thinking, what do I do if somebody sings the song that I'm planning on singing? Or like, what if I choose a safer cut? And then I thought, you know what, Salisha, you have nothing to lose. No one knows who you are. There's so many girls here. There's no way they're going to recognize you or know you. Take the risk. Take the harder song, the harder cut, and have a good time. And who cares if you crack? So that's exactly what I did. I went inside and I sang an audition cut that I don't usually sing. And I sang the crap out of it because I'm like, I feel like how I've only done one Broadway show at that point. No one's going to recognize me. Who cares if I suck? Who cares if I crack? And I hit notes that I never allow myself to hit because I always choose a song that I can sing on my worst day. I always choose a song that I can sing when I am sick. I never sing the song that I'm like, I don't know if I can hit that. But I did that day. And I did hit it. I'm like, why have I been like holding myself back? And the people behind the table, they get up on their feet. He's like, okay, you can belt an F. And I was like, I think that was an F in that song. He was like, okay. He's like taking a note. And he was like, Salisha, so wait, how was beautiful? Blah, 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 blah. And he started to say things like that let me know that he did know who I was, which I'm glad I didn't realize that before going into the room because it would have gotten me in my head a little bit. But I got the call back, which I was so surprised by, but I shouldn't have been, not because I'm amazing, but even if there's hundreds of girls, they are looking for something very specific. And if they find a glimmer of it in somebody, you'll get the call back, whether there's 200 girls or 10 girls or guys or whatever. And so that is just a glimpse of what it could be like at a Broadway audition here in New York City. There's like the main places where auditions take place. There's Pearl Studios on 8th Avenue, Ripley Career Studios. There's a few different locations for Ripley's locations. And there used to be a place called NOLA. There's like a few different places where all the auditions are at. And once you know where they are, it feels like, oh yeah, I know where that is. I don't have to look it up every single time. I think the takeaway here is that if you're interested in acting or going in for auditions, maybe it's not even acting, maybe you're going in for modeling or for something else, but you're putting yourself in a position for somebody else to choose you and you hope that they like you. I think the takeaway here is to leave fear at the door and to do what you want, to be less of who you think they are looking for and to be more of who you actually are. And, you know, the beautiful thing about that is, yeah, you might get a lot of rejections being yourself, but the ones where you do get the callback or you do get the second interview, they're saying yes to you. They're saying yes to who you are, to who you're showing up as, and you don't have to pretend like you're somebody else. Work, right? That's the goal, that we get to show up and just be ourselves. So that's all I got for today. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of The Salisha Show, and come back next week. Also, stop by my website, thesalishashow.com, and leave me a message on SpeakPipe and let me know what you think, who you want to hear from, what you want to hear about, and subscribe. See you next time.